Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in-depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high-octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Welcome, everyone. Yes, even you with the foam finger and questionable fashion choices. I'm looking at you to the Top Tier Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Donnie Guerrero, joined as always by the cerebral assassin of commentary himself, Josh Heyman. We're here to cover Friday Night SmackDown from July 25th. So lace up your boots, cue the pyro, and let's get into it.
My name is Josh.
Heyman.
All right. Well, this episode of Friday Night SmackDown is brought to us from the Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. And it is a somber episode this week as the show starts with a 10-bell salute for the recently deceased Hulk Hogan. And it was accompanied with a beautiful video package narrated by Triple H.
It was really great, yeah.
Rest in peace, Hulkster.
Yeah, rip. But I think they did a great job with that. Like, I mean, given that they had a day, they did amazing.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of lead time on that. It apparently caught the wrestling world by complete surprise. And for anyone who is kind of in our age group, who were there for both the 80s and the 90s Monday Night Wars, you realize how instrumental Hulk Hogan was in professional wrestling during those 2 decades.
Yeah, for sure.
So the wrestling world definitely lost an icon.
No.
But not to be ones to let such a thing get in the way of a good show. They start the show out properly with Logan Paul stepping into Cleveland, Ohio. And he makes his way to the ring with a microphone in hand. And the ring dressing looks like it's set up for an episode of Impulsive TV, which we do find out Logan Paul intends to have a live edition of Impulsive TV where he's going to call out that, what do you call him, Kentucky Fried Convict Jelly Roll, and show him how you do a talk show right. Because but a couple of days before, Jelly Roll was hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Logan Paul got choke slammed through the announce desk. So apparently he showed up butthurt.
Yeah.
But not too long into that beginning segment with Logan Paul, Jelly Roll makes his way to the ring, tells them to stop the music. They don't have to play that song for Logan Paul to know who his daddy is. And
shots fired.
Shots fired. And I have to say, Jelly Roll not only throws an impressive choke slam, but he's pretty good at talking smack on the mic. And he basically opens up by essentially saying, Cleveland don't like you. I don't like you. And I'm more Cleveland than you are. And Logan was basically like, no. I think you're confused. You're the outsider here. This is Impulsive TV. This is my show. So shut up and show me some respect. And he goes on to talk some smack, indicating that, it's one thing to show up and do a spot here and there, but at SummerSlam you're getting in the ring with Logan Paul, the Moment Maker, and the Scottish Warrior, a 6'7", 300-pound giant who I get to tag in, and Randy Orton gets to tag in you.
Aw, shots fired again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they go back and forth, and it's pretty good. Jelly Roll is holding his own on the mic. But then shortly into that, after Jelly Roll calls Logan Paul nothing but a prime peddling punk ass bitch, Drew McIntyre walks into the ring, all 6'7", 300 pounds of him, and Jelly Roll says, you guys made a big mistake if you think I came here alone. And he sings the opening for Randy Orton. He says, I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. And then Randy Orton's music cues in. And I thought that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton makes his way down to the ring. And he's about to give Drew McIntyre a piece of his mind when he, in fact, instead just punches Drew in the face, knocking him out of the ring. And that sets the stage for Jelly Roll to start beating up Logan Paul until McIntyre comes in and stops that. And they go back and forth in a bit of a brawl. And there's a point where Jelly Roll and Logan Paul are in the ring together. And it looks like Logan's going for the titanium punch. But Jelly Roll avoids it, and instead, when Logan comes bouncing back off the ropes, hits him with a huge boss man or black hole slam, depending on who you want to credit that one to, either big boss man or abyss. And he did a pretty solid job of it, I thought.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'd seen him hit that move. I already know he can throw an impressive enough looking choke slam, but that was pretty good, the black hole slam. And surprisingly, they've actually done a very good job of building hype for this, what would otherwise be like the celebrity kind of throwaway match.
Yeah.
I'm actually really intrigued now because they've done some good heat building, and Jelly Roll has actually done a good job, unlike, Travis lame as shit Scott, showing up as, a guy who doesn't do this all the time, and actually showing up and, like, looking credible. He talks good smack on the mic. They've done some great build up. So this is actually one of the matches that I'm most interested in coming into SummerSlam. How about you?
Yeah, I'm ready for this match, and I didn't think I would be. I I have to set aside the fact that I am very heartbroken that they have decided to make Drew a really cool jobber. Um and I feel like they're kind of doing the same thing with Logan Paul, cuz I don't think that they're going to win this match. I think Jelly Roll and Randy Orton will be winning this match. Now maybe I'm wrong, and I'll be okay if I am. But I kind of feel like whenever a celebrity steps into the ring, it's kind of like the colorful match, you know what I mean? The playful, like, fan service. It's just here for fun and entertainment. Um I kind of feel like it's that type of a match. Uh and we usually don't expect much, but I feel like Jelly Roll is giving it his all. I think he really, really wants to perform well. And from what I understand, he's been training for this moment. So I don't expect to see uh I don't expect to see like an Oscar performance here. I don't expect to see a triathlete skill set, but I do expect to see the drive and just the grit that Jelly Roll has. Like he wants to do this very well, and from what I understand, he's been taking this shit serious. So I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be. I think he might actually surprise people, um, with what he brings to the table here. Like I said, I'm setting aside the fact that they're just kind of having Drew kind of job for a while. And I feel like Logan Paul is going in that same direction. Although Logan, I don't think Logan cares. I think Logan is just out there having an amazing time. And maybe the difference in these two gentlemen is age. Like one of them is getting pretty close to the end. He's on the other side of his career, whereas the other just getting started, you know? So that excitement, that hunger, that I don't care. I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm a WWE superstar. That's Logan Paul. And Drew, I think, is on the other side there. But taking all that out of it and just looking at the match, I hope it looks like it's going to be fun. I hope that it is so, and I'm hoping that no one gets injured. I would be very, very upset if Jelly Roll, after all those hard work, got injured. Um, Although I'm pretty sure he would just work it out and come right back. But I mean, you could tell he's a fan. He loves this stuff. This is probably a dream come true for him, and he does not want to disappoint. Like he does not want to disappoint Randy.
Yeah, I agree, and that's I think significant. Not only does he seem to be doing like what we've seen, he seems to be doing very well for a guy who's not in the ring like that much.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. His attitude seems to be that he takes this seriously and he wants to perform well. I don't get that he has anything but passion for the WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm watching with interest, and of course, I mean the other athletes that are in this match are main eventers in and of themselves. I mean, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you can think whatever you want about Logan Paul outside of the ring, but in the ring, it is unquestionable that this dude has a knack for it, and he's very
Oh,
good.
yeah. Like if anyone is still harping on that, I got nothing to say. So I got two words for him: guns up. No, like, so look, if you're still butthurt that he's here, I don't know what to tell you. Get happy in the same pants you got mad in. Like,
And
come on.
he's really not just learning the. I mean, he's an ace in the ring. His in ring is very very good. Um, where I'm seeing great improvement is his ability to be a heel.
Yeah,
Like he gets it. Him coming out there and calling Jelly Roll an outsider and basically like being super like he himself is obviously very well aware of what people think and say about him. So he uses that to then portray a character who is critically unself-aware by making these same claims at Jelly Roll that everybody levels at him, and he looks like a giant like retarded hypocrite, and it's perfect for the kind of heat that he needs to build.
yeah,
So he's really getting good at figuring out how to build heat and the right kind of heat where you want to see him get punched in the mouth.
yeah. No, that's true. He's got that. He's got that shit on lock.
Yeah. And then of course you've got veterans. I mean, it's Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. In and of itself, that would be a match at SummerSlam by itself.
Yeah,
So obviously there are going to be nothing but additions to this match. So this could be a really good one.
yeah. It could be, and I hope so.
But following that very fun way to open the show, um, you have a video promo of Rey Fenix and Andrade El Idolo, or Andrade for those who know. And this
You
was a
say
pretty
a
good.
name wrong once, twice, 12 times.
Hey, I like Andrade. I think that's cool. But they pretty much cut a promo where they make sure that you know that they are all that is lucha libre and their money. And not a bad promo, but their money. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they
their
said.
their money, and one of them is an animal, and but they are money.
And
So
they're the standard, but they're also the money.
yes, they're the standard, but also the money. Yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
Andrade is La Sombra and Rey Fenix
El
is El
animal.
Animal,
Yeah,
but they're the money.
but they're also the money. Yeah. La raza, but also the money.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get
La
it.
lucha libre, but also
La
money.
La Lucha Dinero.
Yeah, dinero. Yeah, Lu. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Indeed. And after they cut their promo, because they're going to be part of the main event this evening,
hmm
um, the first match occurs, which is Alexa Bliss with Charlotte Flair versus Roxy Perez with Raquel Rodriguez. And this is
Right.
the second of their meeting up like this where they're only having a singles match with one half of these tag teams that are set to clash at SummerSlam. And what were your thoughts on this match?
It was actually. I think I said about 2 weeks ago or so that I am very excited to see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez because Raquel, I told you, she's been impressing me as of late. She should be impressing everybody as of late cuz I mean, there's nothing to not like right now. She is bringing it. Um and I still don't know who to attribute that to, or who to attribute that to. But thanks, whoever, whatever it was. Um, and Roxanne Perez is quickly letting the women's division know why she got her call up. While Julia may have a belt right now, like Julia just pretty much got a belt as soon as she showed up. I feel like Roxanne is getting more of the spotlight. Um, and I feel like she should. She's really good in the ring. And her and Alexa Bliss were really it was so good. They're really good to me in the ring. Um I don't know if they're just on the I maybe they just work well together. I don't know. But Roxanne's amazing. She's going to be, hopefully, she's gonna have a nice long career, and I would be so excited to see Roxanne Perez versus Liv Morgan in the future. Uh, I would like you can put Roxanne versus Julia again if you want. I'm down with that. Uh so yeah, that's what I thought about the match. It was really good. I'm becoming more and more impressed with Roxanne. If you guys haven't figured that out, you know, I know I'm singing the praises of the heels mostly, but shut up. Uh, and Alexa Bliss is cool. There you go.
Yep. My sentiments pretty much echo yours exactly. I felt like this was a good match, and Bliss and Perez look good. Um, I agree with you wholeheartedly that I really have liked how dominant Raquel Rodriguez is coming across because it feels like she's finally arriving where we hoped she would have like 2 years or so ago when she hit the main roster. Um,
Yeah.
and I finally feel like they found the right way to, showcase her. And Roxanne Perez, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I knew of her in NXT, but we don't really track NXT that well. I mean, we don't ever watch those shows.
Yeah.
And so, it's good to see that she's living up to, what we did here. Um, she's looking completely fine in there with these veterans Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and so I'm actually this is one of the matches that I'm interested in for SummerSlam just because of the way these women have been showing up. It's definitely been better for Charlotte Flair too, who coming off of her Tiffany Stratton days was getting booed, and now they're back to cheering for her with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
So that's good. And Alexa Bliss, ever since she's returned, has been nothing but golden in the ring. She's our case study of like size is not the issue if you're
Yep.
not performing well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a good match. They built more heat for their SummerSlam match, and they've kept it compelling because in each of these singles encounters, each team's participant won their match. Um, in their first meeting, I believe Charlotte ended up picking up the win over Raquel, and in this meeting, Roxanne ended up picking the win over Alexa Bliss. So they're coming in neck and neck into SummerSlam. So it's any team's game to win here. So that makes for a compelling match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep,
I agree.
pretty good match. Following that match, we are brought to Kathy Kelly, who was conducting a backstage interview with Jade Cargill. And Jade, she's asking how she's feeling ahead of the biggest match of her career at SummerSlam. And Jade says that she fought through something that was supposed to take her out, but here she is as your queen of the ring. And next week at SummerSlam, she plans to show the entire world why she is a natural born champion. And then she sort of steps, out of frame, and along comes Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis. And Chelsea immediately sends the Secret Hervis to go get her some coffee and proceeds to talk mad shit about Jade Cargill, who was like, she only had just stepped out of frame. So they do the joke of like she's sitting here talking all this crap, and Kathy Kelly's trying to like give her the signal that Jade is right behind her until Chelsea's like, she's right behind me, isn't she? And she turns around and gets punched in the mouth. And Jade Cargill then proceeds to literally pick her up and carry her to not quite all the way to the ring, but through Gorilla and out to the entranceway, where she drops her onto the stage and then picks her up and runs her to the ring. And that sets up the second match, which is Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green, with, once they figure out what happened, the Secret Hervis.
Yeah, once they figure out what happened, yes.
Yep, because they got sent
Yes.
away on coffee detail.
They're out here getting coffee. And next
And
thing you know, they're like, "Hey, where's the boss?"
where's literally the individual that we're supposed to be bodyguards for? What happened to her? So my thoughts on this match. This was basically a straight up squash match for Jade.
Yep.
There wasn't a whole lot of back and forth between her and Chelsea. I think Chelsea got like one move. I want to say she got the zigzag off before she ate a jaded, and 1, 2, 3 done. So this was a squash match, but the real purpose of this seems to have been for the Secret Hervis to start ganging up on Jade in the post match, and for whatever reason have Tiffany Stratton come out to make the save. And I say that because like it tracked when Io was getting beat up that Rhea would come out, because those two had a healthy respect for one another, and vice versa. If Rhea was getting beat down, Io would come make the save. There is literally no reason in the universe why Stratton should come out and help Jade. If anything, she serves to only benefit from Jade getting beaten up by the Secret Hervis here.
Yeah.
So it felt awkward and kind of contrived that she came out there just so that those two women could have kind of a stare down with the belt. Because there really wasn't any compelling reason for Stratton to save or intercede on Jade's behalf at all. Those two women have never had any storyline where they like each other. So that was my thoughts. What did you think?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get the point of it. I don't know why. I mean, I understand that they are trying desperately to make Tiffy a face, but I just don't think Tiffy makes a great face. I'm not telling them how to do their thing, but I just don't see Tiffany. I don't see her as a face, and they're trying so hard, like so hard. But to have her come out and help Jade, for what? Why? Why if you like, you guys aren't friends, you guys haven't had any conversations where you're like, you know what, I respect you. Oh yeah, I respect you. You haven't had any of that. To make this something that you would come out and help on. Like, if anything, I thought you'd come out to help them beat up Jade. Why would you come out here and help them not? I just don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing there. But yeah, and again, this was definitely a throwaway match. I kind of feel like that's all Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis have been for Jade. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
they're giving her a big push, so
Yeah. Yeah. All I can do is agree because we're saying the same things here.
Yeah, we
Um,
are. We are.
so unfortunately, I like Jade Cargill, I like Bianca Belair, and I like Naomi, and I really liked it when they were all three together. Um, and I still like Jade Cargill, but there's absolutely like I'm struggling to find interest in this particular SummerSlam match. And I think partly because it feels like the WWE doesn't have a clue as to what to do with Tiffany Stratton, so it becomes like this uncompelling thing. I'm inclined to think that at SummerSlam they're going to put the title on Cargill and then quietly go reinvent Stratton or something.
Yeah, I mean that might not be a bad idea.
No, because she's on a road to nowhere. Like we commented on, like, like with Io Sky. Io is great. Like it's not the same problem, but I'm going to draw a bit of a parallel. Like we commented on the fact that they put the belt on Io and then forgot about her, and now they remember her again now that she's not the champion.
Yeah,
Um, with Tiffany Stratton, it's been kind of a similar thing. It's just that she is there every week and it's going nowhere versus Io Sky being forgotten about.
yeah,
So it's like I don't know who's doing the story arcs for the women, but like do better. Like this isn't good. This is not compelling material. Um, so I find myself not terrifically super interested in this match. I'm curious about the outcome, but I'm not sure what to even expect in ring from Tiffany and Jade. So not one of the compelling matches on the card for SummerSlam for me, unfortunately.
yeah. I'm gonna have to agree.
Following that quick squash, we go back to the women's locker room where Alexa Bliss is busted open because apparently near the end of the match, she got a little color, a little bit of a nosebleed,
Yeah,
and Charlotte tells Alexa, you know, keep her head up, but they can't lose at SummerSlam. And Alexa's like, I think Charlotte said something like, because we're, and she paused before saying partners, and Alexa was like, you were going to say friend. And she's like, no, I wasn't. Maybe if we win at SummerSlam, maybe then. And then she walks away, and Alexa like whispers, she was totally going to say friend. So they're trying to play into something there. I'm not quite sure where they're going with it, but it has been kind of fun to watch, especially
yeah,
since they made that whole joke about like we're not cheerleaders or I'm not your cheerleader or whatever, and now both of them have come out with the little black pom poms doing cheerleader things. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
it's kind of dumb, but it's at least funny. But I don't know where they're trying to go. Like, are they ultimately going to have a Charlotte versus Alexa thing going on, or
I think they're finally gonna admit they're friends and hug it out, and the audience will cheer, and Charlotte Flair will be a face for a little bit. I think that's what's gonna happen.
yeah? But it has been good for Charlotte. Again, people stopped booing the queen and are now wooing with her, so this is good. Um,
Yep, I'll take it.
and then after that, we get a Cody Rhodes segment. So, um, obviously,
Ah,
with the required wrestling has more than one royal family. Adrenaline in my soul. Something,
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 Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah,
And then once he makes his way into the ring, he pauses to acknowledge the passing away of Hulk Hogan, and gives him credit for many of the superstars that are there, and in fact, wrestling as we know it today. And I was like, okay, classy. But then he shifts his attention to, John Cena, and he talks about how he doesn't want the crappy John Cena that's been part of this like farewell tour.
nobody does, bro.
No, but I mean, at least at least they're kind of acknowledging it. So if John Cena shows up as like, I actually have a pulse and want to be here, John Cena, then I guess this is story arc moment where that's occurring. Because I do tend to think, I kind of suspect that we're going to see a flip flop. Like, we're going to see John Cena before he's out of here turn back into the John Cena people like. And that will be cathartic because people have. I mean, how can you watch what John Cena has been doing and not think it's anything other than complete suck? And the only value that has is if finally give us the relief of him returning to form. Um, and similarly, I think it's quite possible that we see Cody Rhodes make a heel turn. What do you think?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody's been saying that this heel turn is coming, and I think even Cody Rhodes, but and I would be a-okay with it. I'd most likely enjoy the heel turn, but I don't know if it's gonna happen just yet because where are the like I don't know of any faces that could. Uh, I don't know. Like everybody's a heel right now. I don't
What?
know.
I didn't
I don't
think
know.
you, who is the consummate like lover of the heels, would
Well,
ever
no,
suggest that
that's
there's too many heels.
well. I mean, who are the heels gonna go against if there are no faces? Like that. I mean, that's kind of where we're getting right now. Like everybody's doing a heel turn, so it's like everybody's a part of NWO right now. So I don't know. I don't know because they're talking about Randy might go heel soon. Bro, I don't know.
I don't
It,
know. I
it
think. Sorry.
you think what?
I think if Cody Rhodes goes heel, then the way Randy Orton gets his next championship belt is to be the face that goes against him.
Probably. Yeah, that would work. But I don't know if I don't know if Cody's heel turn is now. I know it's inevitable, but I don't know if it's now.
Okay, fair enough. Um, I just I have heard a lot that, and from Cody, he said a heel turn might not be in the far distant future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also think, like, as far as you know, Cody being an interesting character, him being Reverend Cody, that shit was like, if he won the belt back right now, we'd all be like, oh, so we took a really long route to get right back to where we were, and now we're back to somewhat vanilla Cody Rhodes championship run that was kind of vanilla the first time. Like after the big pop of him beating Roman Reigns, it was kind of like ho hum, right?
Yeah, but Cody's
So
not winning. I don't think he's winning that belt. You think he's winning the belt?
I don't know if it will happen at SummerSlam. And I think John Cena's farewell tour needs the juice of him being the champion to kind of like make his farewell tour survive all the way until December, which is when I think his final appearance is. Unless they have a different plan. Um, I guess we'll have to see, but like something here I feel has to change up. Like John Cena continuing the way he is like zero interest.
Yeah.
And the matches, the in-ring work is garbage. So something has to give, or this just stops being. I mean, it hasn't been compelling for a minute, but it just definitely runs itself into the ground.
Yeah, Death
Um,
Riders are more interesting to watch.
I'll stop you when you're lying,
I
and
mean, they are.
you know
Yeah.
how we feel about the Death Riders over
Yeah,
in
but
AEW. That's
John Moxley is more interesting to watch as leader of the Death Riders in a match with Hangman Adam Page than watching Cody and John Cena go at it again.
yeah, no, I agree. I just I think we were talking about this earlier. Right now AEW is on like fire, like in a good
Yeah.
way. And, if I'm quite honest about it, I'm much more interested in what's happening with Tony Storm and Hangman Adam Page than I am any of their counterparts over in WWE right now. Like, whatever's happening with Gunter's belt and CM Punk, I don't give a shit. I also don't really give a shit about, Cena and Cody again, because they haven't made it compelling. And almost I think Naomi would be the closest champion on the women's side that I'm as interested in watching as Tony Storm. We just got done talking about how not that into it I am about Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. So
Yeah,
there's a real, like, the champions are kind of in a boring place over in WWE right now.
I do not disagree. Kind of a meh.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they undo that. Because I'm a fan of pro wrestling. I want to be interested.
Yeah.
But long story short, Cody Rhodes essentially says that he wants, the hustle, loyalty, respect John Cena, not whatever this trash John Cena is. And I mean, I can't disagree with you. None of us want that. It hasn't been interesting. It hasn't been interesting since, like, WrestleMania, honestly. Everything that came after has felt like damage control, and it's not really working.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the former faction. Um, but following that, and Cody Rhodes saying, he'll see him next week, we are taken to a Jacob Fatu promo. And Jacob says, he wants to get right to the point with Solo. I loved you, but you made it like this. You tried to get me framed. You tried to send me to jail. And you told my family and everybody else, or he told his family and everybody else he ain't never going back. And last week, Adam Pearce told him he was going to lock him in a cage at SummerSlam with you, but he doesn't mind that so much when the U.S. title's on the line and he gets to go one-on-one with Solo because he's about to dog walk his ass. Ya Rabin.
I do understand what you mean.
Yes.
I do
Oh,
yabba dabba
wait,
do
wait.
you
Let me
mean.
say it. Let me say it like Joe Tessitore. Yabba dabba doo ting ting ting.
Yes, yabba dabba do ting ting ting. A ring king king king? Yeah,
A
no,
ring
got
king
it.
king.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
shortly after he cuts that promo, The Miz appears, and we're like, "Holy crap, The Miz does exist."
He's still
Um,
alive.
and he walks up to Jacob and says that Jacob's responsible for him being out of action for the last 6 weeks. He's had a lot of time to reflect about his career. He's taken out legends. He's outlasted monsters. There's a bigger game here, and Fatu's just a pawn. Miz says that he's the main character, and he had a conversation with Nick Aldis, and they're about to have a match. And Miz says that Fatu found the wrong guy on the wrong day in the wrong city because Cleveland is his hometown. And he slaps Fatu in the face, and Fatu then turns and looks at him and says, "Come on with it." And there was a point in that promo where the Miz says, "I'm the Miz, and everybody in the crowd says, 'Awesome,' and he says, 'Back.'" And I was like, "Okay, that's pretty good." And I actually got hopeful. I was like, "Okay, we had the Miz disappear for 6 weeks. He comes back. He's actually talking like he's taking himself seriously, and he's getting all in Fatu's face." I'm like, "Are we repackaging the Miz to maybe be a more serious competitor?" Now, the match that follows does not support the continuation of that theory, but I was briefly hopeful for that.
Yeah.
And before we get to that match, though, we have, like,
Oh,
I want to
mid
say
car Miz.
dueling video packages of Aleister Black and Damian Priest. Um, and so it's one of those video packages where Aleister Black and Damian Priest are talking to each other, but it's in two separate video promos. And essentially, Aleister Black says, "You got in my business, and people say we're a lot alike." And Damian Priest is like, "We're nothing alike, but I'm the bad guy, and I'm gonna kick your face in." He says, "I'm not coming to play peacemaker. I'm bringing these hands, and I'm going to punish you." So Aleister Black and Damian Priest are going at it, continuing. And 2 weeks in a row, Ron Killings is nowhere to be found anywhere. Um, then we come to the third match of the evening, which is Jacob Fatu versus The Miz. And what were your thoughts on this match?
Um, I feel like it went about as expected. Uh Even though The Miz showed up with some crazy energy, he came to do the damn thing. He, I guess, did the damn thing. And got it, this one about is what I expected. I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit about I'm not trying to talk shit about mid-card Miz. I'm just saying that what happened here is exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
He got he got beat.
he got
Um,
beat.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I said, I was excited when the Miz came back because, like you pointed out, I like how you said it. He came with that energy,
Yeah,
and so I was like, "Oh snap! Is the Miz back to be taken slightly seriously?" No, it turned out it was what it was. The Miz basically got obliterated, and he didn't
yeah,
even get the benefit of any of like Fatu's finishing moves. Like it wasn't the double jump moonsault. It was just like a pop up Samoan drop for a win. And so it was like, oh, okay. And all of that felt like it was just a prelude. Like the match didn't exist for any reason other than what is about to happen, which is the MFTs and Solo coming to the ring and attacking Fatu in the post match. And then Jimmy comes out to assist, and for like a second, it looks like they might fight him off, but the MFTs eventually take control, and we get to see Talatonga deliver a okay choke slam. And then Solo hits Fatu with the thumb of death, and they end up standing over a beatdown Jacob Fatu. The end.
the
I
end.
mean, that was it. It in and of itself, it was not anything to write home about in terms of a match, and it really felt like it just existed to give the MFTs a reason to attack Jacob Fatu again.
Yeah,
So it was okay, I guess. Um, and
solidly okay.
after that match, we are taken to Kathy Kelly, who was interviewing the Street Profits in BFAB. I guess they're back together. Um, and they're asked about how they think Phoenix and Andrade should strategize for their upcoming match with the Wyatt Six. And Dawkins says they don't really care who wins this match. What they can't understand is why they weren't included in last week's Fatal 4-Way match to be number one contenders. And it's like, yeah, why is that?
That's a great question.
You asking the question that everybody who was watching would have asked doesn't like answer it, like, so thanks for echoing what we all thought, and like it's still unaddressed just because you mentioned it. And DIY interrupts the interview, talking about how they're the real heads of the tag division, and that Dawkins needs to take off the Cleveland Guardians jersey because Johnny Gargano is Mr. Cleveland.
Oh my god.
Um, and DIY is basically saying, get out of the way so that we can clean up the mess that the Profits made by losing the belts. And the Profits point to the fact that Johnny Gargano kicked Ciampa in the face last week, and they were like, "That doesn't matter. That's unimportant. Whatever." And
Lovers quarrel.
Candice LeRae talks some more smoke and irritates B-Fab again. And then following that, we are taken to I want to say Julia is there. No, you're walking with Zelina Vega, who walks up to Julia, and Zelina Vega is looking all like angry kitten, and she says she wants her belt back, and that's when Kiana James, who has been on the main roster, I want to say for almost a year now, and out on injury for a good portion of it, she's taking the CM Punk route. She shows up acting as Julia's official representation and directs Zelina to talk to her. And Zelina tells Clipboard Karen to get out of her face, which I thought was a fantastic line to use on Kiana James. It was great. And she says she's here to talk about a rematch. And Kiana says she's one step ahead of Zelina because she's already had that conversation with Nick Aldis. And Zelina can get her rematch next week. And once Julia defeats Zelina again, Zelina can go all the way to the back of the line. And Julia says she likes Zelina's feistiness, and Zelina tells Julia that she'll see her next week. And okay. I would like to see them do something with Julia, honestly. Like, she didn't have any real spot defending her title at Evolution. She participated in the Women's Battle Royal, if I recall correctly. And as of now, she doesn't have any defense of her title set up for SummerSlam. So hopefully that gets corrected. I mean, she is the new champion. Like,
either that or they're gonna go the route of Io.
Yeah, don't Io Sky her where you put the belt on her and then forget she exists.
Yeah.
So they then review for us what the card is for the upcoming SummerSlam. And taking a look at it, on night one, we've got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I'm pretty interested in that match. Then we've got Judgment Day, which is Roxy Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And I've got some interest there too. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. For all the talk of Kross getting a push and them doing something with him, I have almost zero interest in seeing him beat on Sami Zayn again for no apparent reason. I'm sorry, that just isn't compelling for me. Unless this goes somewhere, it's just like I feel like I've seen it a few times already, so it isn't like ooh on this pay-per-view, or PLE. Yeah. I've already mentioned my lack of interest in Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, so sure. Same thing with Gunter CM Punk. I have negative interest in and of itself for Gunter and CM Punk. Like, I could give a crap about that. Unless this ends up being where Seth Rollins quits pretending he's injured and actually shows up and does a cash in. That is literally the only piece of interest this match would have for me whatsoever. Because I damn sure don't expect much in ring. Like, it'll be Gunter pulling out his entire playbook and CM Punk trying to go to sleep 75 times back to back. And then the final match of night one is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And I'm inherently interested in that match because Roman Reigns and Jey Uso won. And I do like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed too. So that might be the match I am legitimately most interested in for night one. But there's a lot of stuff also on night one that I have no interest in. So this pay-per-view has mid interest on night one for sure.
Yeah.
And then on night two, we've got Dom Mysterio versus AJ Styles, which I'm interested in for two reasons. One, the build-up was funny. I've got a doctor's note and AJ Styles, the master of disguise, taunting him. That was really pretty fun. That was a fun build-up.
I
And
agree.
I'm also interested in seeing Dominic Mysterio, how he actually performs in ring, because he's been better and better each time I've seen him in a match
Yeah.
where he's allowed to actually show out and not just be beaten around like a rag doll. How about you for that one?
Yeah, actually, as far as night two is concerned, whenever we were looking over this, I was excited to see Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles in a match because they've been doing some really goofy shit that's got me interested in the match now.
Yeah, yeah.
And AJ has shown me more of a personality than what they allow him to do on the mic, just in those little skits. So I'm here for it.
hmm
I'm ready to see this match. And I kind of feel like they're gonna be really good together.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I don't know exactly how that one will play out, but I'm curious enough to want to see.
Yeah,
Um, and then we've got Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, and I'm not sure what to make of that one. I think we've predicted that Lyra Valkyria comes out with the title on this, and I think she will have to because Becky Lynch added the stipulation that, if she loses, then Lyra's not allowed to challenge her again. So I think this has to be it.
yeah.
So I kind of feel like Lyra ends up beating Becky and she becomes the new
Unless,
champ.
unless, uh, Bailey interferes in this match, and then Bailey and Becky have a match, or Bailey interferes in this match, causing Lyra to lose, so that Lyra can no longer challenge Becky for the belt. But then Becky and Bailey have a match based on what happened at SummerSlam, and Bailey ends up winning, taking the belt off of Becky. So now Lyra can challenge Bailey, and that way she ends up beating both women and taking the belt off of both women at one point in her career, solidifying her as the true champion of that damn belt.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I could see a fun outcome, or at least a less predictable one, where Bailey cost Lyra this match. So, like you said, she can't challenge anymore. So now Lyra, infuriatingly, has a vested interest in helping Bailey win the belt so that she can challenge for it again. And that
Yeah.
creates a weird dynamic. Um, and so maybe they'll do that. And that could be interesting. So that one could be worth watching. And I'm kind of here for it. I mean, we've been watching this saga play out, so this is continuing, and I'm still interested.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Solo Sikoa, the United States champion, fighting Jacob Fatu in a steel cage. And I'm not sure how this one's going to go. Like, I tend to think that Solo's going to find a way to have the MFTs mess with Jacob even with a steel cage. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I think Jacob wins back the United States Championship here or not.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. I don't think he wins the belt back, actually. It's still too soon. Results hazy. But no, I don't think that he's gonna win it this PLE. I think Solo's gonna retain because Solo just got that belt. And he's got more shit talking to do. But I think the next time that the challenge is made for the belt after SummerSlam, then Solo is losing it. They're gonna have to have some kind of one-on-one, no no members of your faction allowed before, for that match, because I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be somehow interference. I mean, Tala Tonga himself, he could probably just step into the
Step over the cage.
yeah, step over the cage and get in there. So I really think that they're gonna help Solo in some way. Maybe sneak some stuff in. I don't know, something. They're gonna do something.
Yeah. So I am not inclined to think Jacob Fatu wins this match, but
Mm-mm.
I am inclined to think that Jacob and Solo could put on a heck of a match in the middle.
Yup.
So that could be for in ring. It could end up being a good match. It definitely has the
Yeah.
potential to anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm
What a
I'm here for that.
what a great honor for
Um,
Solo. Solo has gotten like he went from being like the quiet, uh stoic member of the bloodline, and now he is crazy as all get out. The fucking goofy laugh, the
yeah, he's
stupid
really
facial expressions. He's really good.
yeah, I agree. I think Solo has stepped up to the part they've needed him to play. And I'm sure some people think it's cheesy, but I think it's great that he's showing that he has range and can be a character because for so long he was just this silent stoic thing, which isn't a stretch. So now
Yeah.
he's carrying this whole MFT thing.
Yeah.
And before that, it was the fallout after Roman Reigns kind of disappeared. So Solo has really stepped into his own.
Yep.
I know he's playing a heel, and we root against the heel, but he's doing a great job. I think he's got character. He's definitely interesting. In the same vein as like AJ Styles showing some personality with this Master of Disguises stuff, and playfully stalking Dominic Mysterio, who's like, "I've got a doctor's note." I mean, these guys are really trying to come up.
Yeah.
So I'm here for that.
Yep.
And then, of course, we have, and I'm definitely interested in this one, Naomi, the women's world champion, defending in a triple threat match versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And I don't know what to make of this one. I'm hoping they're not going to rip the belt off of Naomi quite so soon. I'm hoping that this plays out in a Rhea and Io kind of get into it, and Naomi just sort of like lets them. And then, when they've beaten the bejesus out of one another, Naomi sneaks in and picks up the win and keeps her belt.
Yeah. I think
But
that will
what
be the case.
you think
I
so
don't.
too?
Yeah, I don't think she just again she's got the belt. I don't think she's giving that belt up. Not
Yeah,
not
and
not right now.
and we just got done speaking of character work with Solo. I love Evil Proceed with Caution Naomi. Like so good.
Yeah.
So good. So I'm hoping that Naomi stays central to this plot line for a minute because her heel work is great.
Yeah. Amazing. Amaze balls.
Hmm. And then of course, we finished that night with the main event being John Cena, the undisputed world champion, versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight. Skeptical face. I'm skeptical that this will be John, I'm worried it'll be another John Cena barely phones it in kind of a situation. I know Cody Rhodes will show up and bring everything he's got. And when WWE says they're having a street fight, I snicker because, like, I'm sorry, it's just not. It's just not.
It's not.
Um, and so maybe they can prove me wrong on all fronts, but unless they do, this is not that compelling to me, unfortunately.
No. No, not even a little bit.
Yep. And so that concludes the card for SummerSlam at this point. Now, before the end of tonight, there will actually be one more match added, but we'll get there when we get there. That brings us to the fourth match of the night, which is the main event. The defending champion, the tag team champions, the Wyatt Six, and in this case specifically Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis, will defend versus Ray Phoenix and Andrade El Idolo. And
They don't have a name, but if they did, I suspect it would be something like Animal Money.
Animal Shadow Lucha Money.
Animal, yeah, all right, I like it.
Yeah, because they don't want to be outdone by Motor City Machine Guns. They have to have at least as many syllables,
At least,
at
yeah,
least. But as a main event, Andrade and Phoenix really brought it, and in fact, there's a point in this match where they basically win. They essentially have the Wyatt Six beaten, and then Nikki Cross forces a DQ by just straight up pulling the referee out of the ring, and the ref's like, "What the hell?" and calls the match disqualified.
Yeah, they don't like
And
that.
from that point on, it descends into the entire men's tag division super brawl, with all of the Wyatt Six out there, a whole lot of Eric Rowan like just demolishing these tiny little men that make up a lot of the. But
Uh,
it ends up in this brawl for all. And the Street Profits come out, and Motor City Machine Guns, like everybody. I mean, it's just it floods with this brawl happening, and in the midst of all of it, Nick Aldis says, "Look, you guys clearly didn't learn your lesson from last time, and this division is just chaos. So here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna take those belts, we're gonna put them way up above the ring, and we're gonna settle it with another big TLC multi-team match for SummerSlam." And
woo-hoo.
trying to bring order to the chaos of this massive brawl, even in light of that announcement, is how the show closes, with these tag teams all just beating each other's brains out all the way until the end. So we have that match added. I'm not sure if it's a night one or night two match, but
Yeah.
there will be a SmackDown entire men's tag team division for the I'm not sure if it'll be the entire tag team division. It'll probably be, maybe 8-man kind of a thing with,
Yeah.
4 different teams. But I don't know which 4 of those teams will be in it. But I expect it'll be a banger because the last one was. So
Yeah.
add that to the interested list for SummerSlam.
Add that to
Um,
the list.
Yeah, yep. So I imagine there might be a few more matches that make their way onto the card before we actually get to SummerSlam, but not probably too many more. I am hoping that at least one of them is something to do with Julia defending her U.S. title, because that'll be the second pay-per-view since she's been champion, or PLE,
Yeah.
where like she doesn't defend her belt if they
Yep.
don't. Um, so at with that being the show close, what was your overall opinion and rating for this episode of SmackDown?
Well, it was better than the previous Friday's SmackDown, which I think I rated a 6 or 6.5. This one was close, but it wasn't top tier. I would have to give this episode maybe a 7, 7.5 neck nubs. Um, and I mean, it's just, first of all, the amount of advertising on this particular episode was astounding. Every single time you turn around, they were advertising or selling you something. Something was in your face being sold. Uh, but I can't knock the wrestlers for that. They had nothing to do with it. But I'm just making a note. A lot of advertisements. Um, Aside from that, all these matches were I mean they were decent. The Jade Cargill match was just literally a throwaway. It was something that they said, "Hey, we need 4 matches, but we also need to advertise about 2 hours worth of stuff in the first hour." So like we gotta advertise 2 hours worth of stuff every hour. So we gotta stuff as much advertisement in as we can get, and then we'll just like wrestling advertise first, wrestling second. That's what it felt like. Um, so that match with Jay Cargill and Chelsea Green just felt like a rush job, just so they can get to the next thing to sell. It was very short. Um, on top of that, so was the oh my goodness. Hold on. The match with Jacob Fatu versus
The Miz.
yeah, the Miz, that felt kind of short, kind of felt like a little throwaway, just so they could get to the point that Solo came out and attacked him. I mean, that's what that was all about. So, with that in mind, yeah, I can't in good faith give this like an 8, 8 and a 5. This is not something that I would brag about. I wouldn't talk about this show to anybody. I wouldn't call up my friends and be like, "Oh my God, did you see?" Because it was just an show. So 7, 7 and a half. Really, I could not get to 8 on this.
Yeah. I think I fully agree with you, and
Mm,
for pretty much all of the reasons you cited. I do tend to feel like since SmackDown just recently went back to that 2 hour format, that maybe they're still shuffling around how they want to do things. But it feels like one or two out of four matches generally aren't in and of themselves much of a match. Like we're
yeah,
seeing more squashes to make time for maybe one or two half decent matches.
yeah,
Um, and as someone like don't get me wrong, I love the characters, I love the storylines, but I also very much really enjoy seeing a good wrestling match. Like in-ring
yeah,
work matters. It's not a throwaway side effect of your character building.
yeah. Who
I
knew?
expect the whole package. The same way,
Who
like
knew
if
that you
I'm
would want to see wrestling on a wrestling show?
yeah, exactly.
What?
So you know, you can't just ace like one or two of the elements and call it a day, any more so than like, you know, if a movie had a shit script but excellent cinematography, I'm not going to say it is therefore worth your time. You know what I mean? Like you've
Yeah,
got to be the total package. These are entertainment mediums that have multiple moving parts. And I feel like WWE, especially if by contrast I compare it with AEW, throws away the in-ring work a lot. In favor of, you know, advertisements and like character building spots.
yeah,
And I really would like to see more from the in-ring work. That's why I watch wrestling, or a big part of it, you know. So that's just a general critique. As far as this episode, I agree with you. It was mid. Um it was the matches and you know the build-ups for what is looking to be a relatively kind of mid SummerSlam so far. Like there's a few matches I'm really interested in. There's several I'm not, and more than a couple that I'm only mildly interested in at this point. And I'm almost zero interested in like what a lot of your champions are doing, particularly your world champions. Um,
yeah.
that's not a great place right now. Um, so yeah, for me, this is probably a 7.0. Maybe if I'm feeling charitable, I can get it up to 7.5. And while I agree with you, this is wholeheartedly better than the train wreck of a Friday Night SmackDown the week prior. It it isn't top tier. It was okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's my take on it in my review. Um, that said, that has been our review of Friday Night SmackDown. And I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. And I invite you to catch us for our next episode, which will most likely be Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, in the following week to come, we will be cutting a podcast for the 2 night SummerSlam. Hopefully, it defies our current expectations and turns out to be far more interesting than it's looking like all at the current moment. But we'll definitely let you know. Until then, I don't think there's much for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.